How can you give a great presentation to investors? How can you win them over? Let's find out. So by the way, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Don't miss out on future videos. The first thing you got to prepare for your investors is to prepare what they want to know. Most important thing, right? You got to ask yourself, what does my investor audience really want to know? It doesn't matter if it's one person, if it's a group of people. What do they want to know? Here are just a couple of things. They want to know about the problem. What's the problem in the marketplace? They want to know about the solution. What is the solution to the problem? And the solution should usually be your product or your service. It should be a great solution that really stands out. Another thing they want to know is, what is the market size? They want to know about competitors. True, a lot of presenters who are looking for investors, they don't want to talk about the competitors. Don't do it. Talk about it up front. Don't let the investors figure out about the competitors later. Yeah, better you talk about it up front, what's really happening in the marketplace. What else do they want to know? They want to know about your team. True, who is on the team? How long have they worked together? If you have a strong team, that is fantastic. If not, show a way how you're going to build that team. And lastly, of course, financials. Right? Financials, you got to know your numbers, you got to know your financials. And there are many other things, but you got to think about, what do they want to know? Number 2, start with a wow! This is our new amazing product. Right, so this is just one example. But you want to start with a strong attention grabber. And I've made a lot of other videos about it. Yeah, I'm going to leave a link here for you. But you got to start with the wow. You got to bring the audience, the investor audience in. You got to get them excited from the very beginning. Number 3, be exciting, but not salesy. Yeah, there's a very big difference between the two. Because first of all, it's the whole mindset. You're not trying to sell them anything. You're not trying to sell them anything. Some people think when they give a presentation to investors to get them on board as investors, they sell them part of their business. You're not selling anything. You're looking for partners. Yeah, you're looking for a partner who invests in your business. That's really what you're doing. And what they want to know, and so you also make sure that you're not salesy, you really got to balance logic and emotions in your presentation. You got to balance facts with stories. If you're too salesy, you're only story, and the facts are really missing, or you're overselling the facts. You have to have a good balance of these two as well. Okay, you're looking for a partner. Number 4, use words that investors like to use and especially like to hear, right? The mother of all investor words, of course, is ROI, return of investment, but you should know so much more words that investors use, right? If you know, you sound like you know your shit, okay? I'm not gonna make a whole video, I could make a whole nother video about the words that you could use, but my faster recommendation for you right now, watch 10 episodes of Shark Tank and of Dragon's Den. Yeah, if you watch these 10 episodes and you see all these different pitches, these different presentations, you will know what they ask and you will understand their language better. Number 5, get to the point. Get to the point in your presentation. An investor can very quickly evaluate if an idea is valuable and worth their time. And you got to be prepared for it. You're going to hear some no's. Some investors that you will be presenting today will say no. And sometimes it's nothing against the idea, it's nothing against you, it's just the idea they don't like it or it doesn't fit their expertise. Yeah, you just simply move on. That is not a problem at all. So keep in mind, in your presentation, get to the point. Why? Because anyway, you know what matters more is the Q&A after. The presentation has to be great, but the Q&A has to be even better. Which brings us to tip number 6, prepare for tough questions. Most presenters don't ever do that when they present to investors, right? Their method is more like this. Option 1, they pray, oh, please don't let them ask me any tough questions, please. Okay, option 1. The second option that people do, instead of preparing for these tough questions, think positive. Yeah, no, they will not ask me anything. I'm good. I'm thinking positive, I'm straight, everything is great. That is a bad idea. That is a terrible idea. All right? What do you want to do instead? You want to ask yourself, what are the toughest questions that they could ask me? And this is a question nobody dares to ask themselves in advance because they prefer pray, positive thinking. Don't do it. Ask yourself honestly, what are the toughest questions they might ask me? And then write them down. Prepare for them, practice them, rehearse them. How would you answer it? Role play with somebody, okay? Because you gotta be ready for these tough questions. Which brings me to tip number 7, rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. All right, you now probably have your contents together, you've prepared well, you know how to get to the point, you balanced logic and emotions in your presentation, you answered all these questions that we talked about at the beginning. True, you're ready. Now you're not ready. You know what most people do now? Now they get their slide deck ready, so they open up their computer and then what do? Here's how they rehearse. They scroll through the slides, and when they're done, what do? They do it again and again and again, and they're stuck in their head. That is not a good idea for rehearsing. You need proper practice. You gotta rehearse out loud. Minimum is out loud. You gotta rehearse your tough questions, and the best thing, of course, to do all of this, rehearse with someone. The best case is rehearse with someone from your team, and rehearse with someone from your friends or your family who you know might throw you a curveball. And you might not even like to give a sample presentation to them. But I suggest to you actually do it. Because whatever tough question they might ask you, the investors might ask in the real presentation as well. Make sure you rehearse with someone. So comment down below one time. What did you learn? What were your biggest takeaways from this little session that we had here together for your next investor presentation? What are you really going to use? Yeah, comment all that down below one time. And again, if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button. Yeah, don't miss future videos. If you like this one, give it a thumbs up. And most importantly, I really look forward to seeing you for the next video.